Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros. Thank you for joining us this evening for another Mastermind training. We are we we have been full. We have been eating from the master's table, and it has been so good. Our trainings that we have had, our kickoff meeting that we had on Monday past. It's been really, really great. And so we're excited to be back again this evening. We're excited to have our principal broker, Ms. Jasmine Porter, with us, and she is going to be um, sharing in this training with us this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to her. And I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening as well.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Anita. As always, you are excellent in everything that you do. And welcome to all of our Realty Pros that are online. Hey, do this for me. If you look around and you think of somebody that would benefit from this information that we're discussing, and we know that this is all about Realty Pros who would benefit from learning how to build a referral-based business so that all of us can thrive in 2025, I want you guys to take out your phone and send a text message to somebody, because this information is tremendously valuable and we want for every last one of our Realty Pros to be blessed and have a thriving business this year. So thank you guys for joining, for taking out the time so that you can come and get this information so that you can move forward and get everything that you desire to get out of 2025. All right, I will do a brief recap before we begin with tonight's training. Over the last couple weeks, we've been talking about gold in the palm of your hands. We talked about gold under your feet. We've talked about all of the different things, that opportunities that are afforded to every last one of us with the resources that you currently have. Tonight's training is going to be no different. It is very interactive. So I want you to drop messages in the chat, take yourself off of mute and respond and contribute to the conversation when you are able to. But as it pertains to the last couple weeks worth of training, we'll do a very brief recap for about a few minutes or so, then we'll get started with tonight. So before we begin tonight's training, would somebody either drop in the chat or participate and let us know what the theme or what your takeaways were from gold in the palm of your hands and gold under your feet? I want you guys to do the recap. So let's see who we can call on. Who was in that training? Who from among us? All right. Do we have a volunteer?
Yes, I just volunteered myself.
Hello, Bryce.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Jasmine. So in regards to gold in the palms of our hands, like right now, I've got my phone in my head, and we just went over how our contact base and potentially your customer base can, or your client base can expand just from the contacts that you have in your phone. When you do right by them, then you can ask for referrals, or sort of challenge them to send your information to 3 different people. So you have a growing network, and then the ability to record other people's contact information that you might be able to meet out in public, just to network with them, associate with them, what have you. And then in regards to kind of gold at the bottom of our feet, I think just having the real estate license and the ability to transact and to help people do business and put them in good situations is that sounds like gold to me. And if you're able to, yeah, I think that's enough said. Just the ability to transact, all the wonderful people that we can connect with, and then just all the good things we have going for us, even just at the Porterhouse brokerage itself, with the resources and support that we have and brokerment as well.
Outstanding, Bryce. Thank you so much. You did a phenomenal job with that. Who else? Let's see. Talita, if you are able to unmute, we want to hear from you. What were your key takeaways in recapping gold in the palm of your hands and gold under your feet? If you are able to unmute. Otherwise, let's see. Darlene, if you would unmute and share with us what your key takeaways were. I'm going to keep going in order. Come on. Angela, who's able to unmute. Our Realty pros are not shy, so I know you guys, if you are able to participate, go ahead and unmute. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that everybody is full and you remember all of the information from the last couple of weeks, and we will proceed with our training tonight.
So can I just jump in, because I'm not even sure if Angela can talk.
Yes, go ahead.
But so, and I'll tell you, one thing that was very impactful to me this time around, not as if though this training is new to me. However, this is the wonderful thing, is that you know, just like the Word of God, every time you read it, you can get some more, some more, and some more, right? And so, and I don't know, and at different times, things become alive to you, right? And so I think it was very illuminating to me to actually this time break down the numbers and, you know, figure and understand that it's a numbers game. And, you know, the time, even I think more importantly, is looking at the amount of time that it takes to prospect, right? It looks like a big number as a whole, but then once you start breaking it down and understanding that, you know what, this prospecting time can be no more than an hour and a half, you know. And so I think that was I don't know, that just hit me in a different way this year than it did in the times past. Is that it doesn't have, aside from, you know, just going out and meeting people and you talking to people, but your conscious time slot and choice that you have chosen to do that prospecting and to reach out and to, you know, make sure that you let the individuals that you're speaking with know that you have been given a task, and that task is to help 25 families in 2025, and that you are depending on them and you're looking to them to provide you with at least 3 referrals, you know, so that you can help those 25 families this year. I think that was the part that I pulled this year.
Outstanding. That was tremendous, because my hope is that everybody on the line remembers exactly what you were talking about, because you mentioned breaking everything down, as some would say, to the least common denominator. We can talk about all the things you have to do, all the people you need to reach, and all the prospects and contacts, but it simply breaks down to only an hour to an hour and a half of daily prospecting. So that is so essential for people to realize, because then it's no longer intimidating. Then you realize that this is very much doable. This is something that not only can I do, but I would kind of be crazy not to do, right? If all of your dreams and all of your goals can be met in real estate by simply being diligent to do that one thing on a consistent basis, then I think that you owe it to yourselves. You're more than worth it to do it. All right. So then let's go ahead and let's build on that, because the purpose of everything that we're doing with our sphere of influence is so that we can build a referral-based business, right? We started out by saying that 70% of our business is going to come from people that are already within your sphere of influence, right? If that is the case, then it's most profitable to build a referral network from within your sphere of influence. So let's think about that. And Bryce touched on it. I was very excited to hear that he has been paying attention, right? My hope is that all of you have, and I want to make sure that you don't miss any of this, because this will change your business and it will change your lives if you grab hold of it, okay? So there's a difference, because you go from one level to the next. One level is you reach out to your sphere of influence in order to assist them with their real estate needs. So it's almost a one-for-one transaction. You reach out to one person, that one person uses you to help them to buy or sell, or maybe buy and sell. But the difference in what we're talking about tonight is building a referral network from within your sphere of influence, right? So that grows you from the level of thinking just about one sell to doing exactly what we've been teaching and what Bryce reiterated. Now you're talking about, On your phone calls, you're capturing opportunities for business multiple. So you go from the purchases, the sales, investments to now referrals. You heard Anita say, my goal is to help 25 families in 2025 to either buy or sell their homes. Who do you know that could use my help? And that's the vein that we're coming from with this. Who do you know that could use my help? And what can your referral network do for you? One of the things that I will say is when you call your referral network, you want to capture every business opportunity. And I say that because some people might have a reason to pause and say, okay, well, I called so-and-so and they said, no, I don't need to buy. And I said, okay, well, I thank you very much. Would you let me know when you're ready to buy? Or they might say, well, no, I don't need to sell. I love my house. And you might say, okay, well, I backed down. And I said, okay, well, would you call me if you're ready to sell? Or I don't think about any investments or whatever the case may be, but what we're doing is we're providing a solution for every single call that you will make. Because whether that person is ready to purchase, sell, to build an investment portfolio, whether they know somebody that needs to, everybody can send your contact information out. Everybody can do that, right? So you can have 100% participation within your sphere of influence with simply asking them to refer you to to all of their friends and family. Can you think of anybody that maybe a client that you closed, a referral that you received, maybe a lead that you're working with now or somebody in the past, and think of where those leads came from? And that's something that I want you to just kind of ponder as we go through the training tonight, okay? All right. So one of the things that you can have your referrals or your sphere of influence to do for you is to send your information to their contacts, right? That is so easy for us to do now because all of us have digital business cards and we have it in multiple ways. If you're on the line and you don't yet have your digital business card, make that something that you do today. So each and every last one of our Realty Pros, you received a copy of a digital business card when you approved your proof for Porterhouse. You also have the option to download .card and or hi hello. Somebody type that in the chat for me. Somebody type .card, D-O-T card, and hi hello, because those are other resources that we have so that we have digital business cards that I can send somebody just like a text message. And in addition to all of my Porterhouse information, it's going to give them all of your social media platforms, your email address, your telephone number, your brokerage information, and every piece of any way that they can connect with you. You're able to complete that information in .card or hi hello and give that information to them in a simple text message. All right. So that's one easy way. If they say, you know, Faith, thank you so much for your call, but I'm not ready to buy this year. You know what I mean? You're going to have the conversation that we had at the beginning of this discussion, and you're going to sell them on the features and advantages and benefits of them purchasing. But before that, you're going to say, would you be willing to pass my information to the people that you know? Would you be willing to refer me to your sphere of influence? If there's anybody that you can think of who can use my help, would you be willing to give them my contact information? And then you just challenge them. I'm going to send you my digital business card. Would you please send this to at least 3 people that you know and let them know that if they are looking to buy, sell, lease, invest, get into real estate or whatever, to call me first. That is something that people will do, and we've seen great success with that. Another thing that people can do is to post your information on their social media. And one of Mr. Porter's friends passed his information along and posted it on his social media account, and he had 40,000 people who saw it. So it caused a chain reaction of engagement with people that were within their sphere of influence just because this person posted his information on their social media. And my hope is that what you guys can see is that you've created a solution and a way for people in your sphere of influence to help you to grow your business, whether they need to purchase sell, invest, or not, they're still able to contribute to your success. It does not cost them anything. It simply connects you with the people that they are connected to, right? Another way for you to build that referral-based business is for you to even give them some of your business cards. Think about that, guys. You patronize people's businesses all the time. You go get your hair done. Many of us get our hair done, or you may go to the barber shop. You may get your nails done. You may go to whatever place you frequent and you do business with. You should ask them, is it okay if I leave some of my business cards? Or are you willing to pass my business card to anybody that you know who could use my services? And you simply make the request and leave some of your business cards with them. What are you doing? You're building a referral-based business, right? And one of the things that stuck out in the conversation that we were having earlier is the perspective that we come from, that we are solving people's problems. We are helping people. We are being of service to people. We are helping people to build wealth. We're transforming people's lives. We're helping people to aspire to a dream and then to see that dream come to fruition. Everything that you are doing, you are absolutely improving people's lives. So when you come from that perspective, you realize that you're not going to them with a handout. You're going to them with a solution for everybody that they know. Okay? So that's one of the perspectives that I want us to have. Before I move on to the next page, does anybody have any thoughts from any of the information that we've gone over thus far? If so, you can drop it in the chat. Thank you. I see the dot card and the hi, hello. Perfect. If you guys have any thoughts or any contributions, then you can unmute yourself, drop it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll continue. All right. So when we're calling people, when we say, who do you know that could use my help? The purpose of what you're doing, like we said, you are activating your sphere of influence. At first, you were intentional to make sure that you go and pick up the gold that is under your feet, the gold that's in the palm of your hand, but now you're activating them, as we talked about before, to multiply. If you ask them for contacts and you ask them to send your contact information to the people that you know, you're making your contacts activated so that no matter what you're doing, if your goal is to get to 2,400 contacts that year, if each person sends you 3 people and or sends your information to 3 people, how many more business opportunities do you think you'll have that year? How much will that impact your business? So an activity that we need to do is when we have conversations with people, you're looking for them to identify people to you in the event that you say, well, I don't know who could use your help. One of the things that you can do is say, well, think about it. You know what I mean? If you know anybody who recently got married or, had children or may have divorced or, maybe a loved one passed away and they need to sell or, they have a recent need to downsize because they need single level. And we know that that's how it is a lot of times. People, their needs change. Some people retire, they no longer can handle the steps. Some people need to relocate. They have military relocation needs. There's so many reasons that cause people to need to move, to need to buy, to need to sell, right? So this is how you can help to jog their minds so that in their conversations with those in their sphere of influence, they will already be prepped. And they'll say, you know what, Anita did tell me to think about it and to let her know or to send my contact information to someone when I know somebody, who recently had a loved one that passed away and needs to sell a house. So my question to you guys is, what other situations can you think of that would cause somebody to need to sell? And I'm going to pause for a moment to give everybody the opportunity to think about it. Then I want to hear from you guys. What other opportunities or what other situations can you think about that would cause somebody to need to sell or purchase a house? Investments. I see you, Faith. That's absolutely one of them. If somebody wants to invest, Angela, empty nesters, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to comment on what Faith said first, the investments, because, at Porterhouse, we encourage all of our clients to build an investment portfolio. Their house is their first investment. Once they get to the point where they've built equity in their homes, then we absolutely encourage them to build an investment portfolio. So even if they don't have a need for another, primary residence, you say, well, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, you have $500,000 worth of equity in your home. What are you doing with that? You want to build your investment portfolio? So now you're going from having one house to having 2 or 3 houses, and they're all giving you that same type of return on your investment. Merely having the conversation with somebody, you'll either be planting that seed or watering it, but I tell you, they will never forget it. Because if they never even thought about having an investment portfolio, and Faith, you begin that conversation with them, who do you think they're going to come to? You, because you believed in them. You spoke something into their lives that will literally change their lives if they simply grab hold of it. So remember that all of our clients can have investment portfolios. So absolutely, you can talk about that. Empty nesters, Angela, yes, yes, and yes again. And this is a reason that many people celebrate. They bought the house that they needed to accommodate all of the kids, and now the kids are gone and they're singing and dancing, and now they no longer need those 5 bedrooms. Now they can maybe reasonably downsize to whatever fits their needs for this stage in their lives. But those are absolutely people who now have a change in their lifestyle needs, so they need a different living accommodation. Absolutely. I see you said newlyweds and those engaged to be married. Absolutely. We know that to be the case. When people are newlyweds, now you have 2 different households, and they're going to, if they had homes before, now they have 2 homes to sell, and they're going to come together and buy one. That could potentially be a 3-sided opportunity for you. But at the end of the day, these are people who could use your help. These are people that need somebody's help. Why not let that be from you? Why not let that be Angela Skipper on all of those agreements, those buyer agency and listing agreements? Because Angela Skipper was the person who called and asked for the referrals. Okay, absolutely. Who else is on the line? Can you think of anybody else? Let's think.
Unfortunately, if there's a job loss.
Absolutely. If there's a job loss, that is very true. And that is one of those unfortunate circumstances. But again, you solve problems. Because the problem you solve is if somebody is under the weight or the pressure of not being able to afford the home that they have because of a loss of job, now you can provide them with a solution. You can provide them with a peace of mind, because not only will they be able to sell their property, they will be able to sell their property. They will be able to cash out on all of the equity that they have in their property. And now they'll be able to get something more suitable that they can more comfortably afford with the income that they have. So then it was a blessing to them, and whether the circumstances, presented themselves to be favorable circumstances or not. Okay. Divorced. Yes, Faith, very much so. Those are things that happen no matter what the market dictates. Right. And oftentimes that's going to be a multiple-sided deal as well. Because if somebody's divorced and now you have a house to sell and you probably have 2 to purchase. So with that being said, you're having conversations with people and you're asking them to keep their eyes and their ears open for those opportunities, and please refer you to these people. Yes, job changes, moves, absolutely. We know that when people, they get a job and they're making a whole lot more money than they made, oftentimes they want a different lifestyle. And thank God for it. So those are some people that you can assist with scaling up or scaling down. If they're moving to another location because of the job, they might need to sell the home where they are here so that they can buy a property in Arlington, because now, they were working down in maybe White Plains, but their new job is in Arlington. So now they want to be closer to where they work. I see you, Anita. You said estate property. Absolutely. All of these are reasons that it does not matter what the market is doing. People need to buy and or sell because of these reasons. So when you have these conversations with your sphere of influence and you ask them to somewhat keep their ear to the ground for you when these situations arise, these are real life situations. And these are happening all around us. And now what you've said is, hey, you know, somebody that has an estate property, let me know. Send them my information and let them know that I will take good care of them. Why? Again, we're solving people's problems. They have an estate property. They don't know what to do with it. It was left to them. It was maybe an inheritance, you know, from a parent or grandparent or whomever it is that left the property to them. Apparently, they don't want to live in it, which is why they need to sell it. And they need to sell it, and they need somebody that's going to protect their investment, somebody that's going to make sure they maximize their profits and lead them through that process with ease, somebody that they can trust, somebody that's going to help them to liquidate that asset. So whatever the inheritance is that they were looking forward to, now they can enjoy it however they see fit. Absolutely, estate property. Can you guys think of anybody else? You all are on fire. This is excellent because this is exactly what we're talking about. Absolutely. So we're identifying these people. We're saying to our sphere of influence, you know, well, when you think of anybody who have this situation or that situation, now we're helping them because now they don't have to feel like, well, I don't know who would potentially use your help because I don't know anybody that said, I want to buy or I want to sell. Well, do you know anybody who experienced any of these situations? Because those are also people who need my help. Excellent, guys. All right. So what I want us to do, and I want you to do it now, this is going to be an activity as part of tonight's training. I want you to look at your contacts. And I want you to identify everyone who has ever referred business to you. Because the activity that we're doing, where we're going to build a referral-based business from within our sphere of influence, those are the people that you're going to start with. I want somebody to read those second 2 points on the screen for me, starting with if you can get 12. Come on. Who's going to be our first reader?
If you
I
can
can
get
read.
12,
Okay, go ahead, Faye.
that's right. If you can get 12 people to all send you at least one client per year, it will increase your income by 144,000 this year.
Say that one more time, Faith.
If you can get 12 people to all send you at least one client per year, it will increase your income by $144,000 this year.
Outstanding. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me if my contacts send me referrals, if I get just one client out of that, it'll change my real estate business? Is that what you're telling me, Faith?
Yes.
Okay. So let's think about that, right? Because that is a very poignant piece of information, very, very impactful if you take it, grab hold of it, and what I heard somebody say this afternoon, run the play. If you grab hold of that information and you run the play, you are going to cut your time in half. And you're going to realize that when you spend most of your time nurturing these people that send you referrals, you won't even need, 5,000 contacts in order to make your real estate dreams a reality. You won't even need 2,000 contacts to make your real estate dreams a reality. You will simply need to nurture these people consistently throughout the year. Because one of the things that's most important for all of us to realize is when you get a referral from somebody that already know, likes, and trusts you, that person is already at least 50% likely to work with you. And that is a big deal. They are already at least 50% likely to work with you, which is very different than a cold call. Because a cold call, you might get, we won't even go over those percentages tonight because it doesn't necessarily benefit this topic. But the bottom line is you go from a smaller percentage to something that is more than half the time likely to pan out. And my question to you is, how much does it cost you to get a referral from somebody that you know? I don't hear anything. How much does it cost you to get a referral from somebody that you know? Zero. There it is. As Darlene would say, free 99. It does not cost you anything. It does not cost your referral anything. That's right, Faith. It costs you nothing but your diligence, right? Because now we're talking about working smarter. Now we're talking about being more efficient. Because if we begin reaching out to the people first who have already referred us business, do you know that that will maximize, as Mr. Porter talked about being a force multiplier, that will maximize our business opportunities for this year, because that person doesn't need to be sold. They've already sent you business, Angela. They've already sent you business, Anita, Faith, and everybody else that's on the line. Whether you've closed the person, you're working with the person's working on their credit, you know, you have to follow back up with the person because they were a long-term buyer or whatever the case is. People who have already referred you business are already accounts waiting for you to groom them into being a powerful referral partner with you. All right. So as we're making these calls, you want to make every call a great call. Because again, you're here to solve people's problems. You're here to be of help. You are here to serve the people that you're calling, in addition to serving the people that's in their sphere of influence. So as long as your perspective is that you are helping, you're serving, you're solving their problems, whatever their needs are, then now they're a lot more likely to work with you and to refer you, because they realize that your perspective is being of service to them. All right. So activating your sphere of influence. In your calls with your sphere, you want to turn everything into a positive and show the person exactly how they can contribute to helping you to grow your book of business, no matter what their needs may or may not be at the moment. And that's where we ran into the, you know, if they are already a homeowner and they love their property and they're not looking to move at the moment, that's where the no problem. That's great. I'm excited that you love your home. What about your investment portfolio? Have you begun your investment portfolio yet? That's where that comes into play, so that you can help them. In addition to that, do you know anybody that can use my help? Right? Maybe you've heard somebody that is recently married or divorced or widowed or, you know, whatever the case may be, relocation or whatever. If you hear of these people, would you refer me? And it's most important for us to literally ask for the business. Will you refer me? Would you send my information to at least 3 people? I'm going to send it to you now. Would you send me at least 3 contacts that could use my help? And you have that conversation, you literally ask for the business, you get commitments from people. And when people say, yes, I will, they are much more likely to send you a referral versus you simply making a suggestion and kind of leaving them, you know, leaving it up in the air. It's essentially what's called closing for the business. Will you send those referrals to me? So when those people and those opportunities arise, will you send them my way? Will you send them my contact information? So include that in your calls so that you're closing for the business, so that you're getting their buy-in, so that they see that not only are you a value add to their lives, but you'll be able to help somebody else that they know, because now for them, that makes them a resource to their sphere of influence. If Mrs. Patty is talking to, you know, Joe or whomever, and he's talking about an issue that he has with an inheritance or an estate property, and Miss Patty says, oh, Joe, I have a solution for you. Don't worry. I'm going to have you to call Anita Bowie. She can help you. Guess what? Joe already trusts Patty. He already knows her. He trusts her. He knows that, you know, she's going to be of assistance to him. And now she has even bolstered her credibility with him because she's providing him with a resource that will solve his problem. So it's a win-win-win for everybody, which is one of the reasons why people are happy to refer you to others. Okay? So your Realty Pros, your Porterhouse, you guys are here on training now, and you're diligent in your training, so you're able to have those confident, competent conversations with people. So they will trust that you are able to help them and assist them with everything that they need. All right? So here's an activity that I want us to do before we end tonight. So I want each of us, name some of your past clients, some of your leads, and I want you to think of who sent them to you. So take a few moments and think about, you know, your current clients, past clients, current leads, past leads, and I want you to take yourself off mute and let me know who sent those to you. And some of you can think of them right offhand, and some of them it may take a while to figure it out, but think of it. And I want you to have something so that you can write them down. So whether you type them in your phone on your notes, or you have a notepad or your binder, I want you to write those names down. Because your follow-up to tonight's training is going to be to devise that list of all of the people who have ever referred you business. Because all of the people who've ever referred you business, they're already champions. They're already Team Anita. They're already Team Bryce. They're already Team Talita, whoever those people are. And then I'm going to encourage you to take it even a step further, because all of the people who've already come to you and allowed you to assist them, and you helped them with the sale of their home, you helped them with the purchase of their home, those people are already champions as well, because you've already proven to them what you can do. So I want you to add those people next to your contacts. And I want you to be intentional to start in that order so that you can build a referral-based business in 2025. All right. So thank you so much for your time. I'm thankful that you guys joined this evening. Now I'm going to turn the floor over to you because I want to hear from all of you. I don't want you to just listen to me speak, but I want you to think about it. I want you to share those things. I want you to write it down, and then I want you to run the play. I thought that was so cool that someone said this afternoon. So you can thank Crystal for that. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Anita, and I will turn it over to all of you Realty Pros. Now it's your turn. So you can take
Thank you,
yourselves
Miss.
off of mute and go ahead and share.
Thank you, Mrs. Porter. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to share very quickly, and it's so funny because I had a buyer from years and years and years ago. And you know, his contact information is in my phone. And maybe a couple times a year, you know, I reach out. I do that campaign at the beginning of the year, and then I may reach out at another time or two during the year, and just, you know, how are you? How's the family doing? You know, do you know anyone who's interested in, you know, real estate or needs my services or whatever? And always, oh no. And it was so funny because actually when we closed on the property that he purchased, he was like, oh, I have a lot of family and friends, you know, but I, over the years, just didn't receive no referrals. And then just, I don't know if it was last week or the week, it was Thursday. I know it was right after Realty Talk, and I received a text message from him saying, hey, I'm sending my, your contact information over to my sister. She wants to buy a house. And I was like, oh, wow, thank you so much. And the great part about it is that I've spoken with his sister. His sister is over with the lender. And so we're going to be moving forward. And she's saying, and this is her dilemma. When she moved into her apartment, she started with a rent of $1,400 a month. This is for a 2-bedroom apartment. She's now paying $2,300 a month for rent. And as of May, her rent will be increasing again. And so she was like, I don't want to pay that much for a 2-bedroom apartment. And so it was great to be able to go through the consultation with her and, just share with her the benefits of home ownership. And she's ready to move forward. So that was a great opportunity to be able to, receive a referral from a past client. But I wanted to share that because this is like something that's happening right in this moment. But absolutely, I want to allow anyone else who maybe has something that they'd like to share, maybe a past client or not even a past client, just someone someone may have you've never actually provided the service for them, but they send you referrals. Okay, so I just want to encourage you all, just as Mrs. Porter has shared with us. Oh, Darlene, I see you taking yourself off mute.
Yeah, I could, I'm sitting up here thinking, so I have a girlfriend of mine that lives in Florida, and she referred a client to me, Mary Finney. Okay, and she and I closed last year. And then I have a client where I did sell a house to him probably in 2022. I think it was. We had a sip and see. And then I closed with Ibrahim and Miguel from his sip and see. And then he has sent me 2 buyers that are, I think one of them is working with Mr. Cooper, and the other is actually his sister. And I just sent her the app. And there are a few more, but those are the ones that I can like just think of like right away. So those are the ones that I can come up with.
Thank you, Darlene. So, and I want to encourage you, because I don't know why I didn't think, because I'm going to close it next month on another referral, someone that I had met from year before last. I closed with someone and then did a sip and see, and I received a referral from, and this person actually, when I first met him, said, "Oh, I have an agent." And then a year later called me up, and so we're supposed to be closing next month. Or we're going to be closing next month. So that's really great. But I said all that to say, it really, like, that's not talking to a stranger, right? You're talking to people that you built a relationship with, and you're just asking them, to provide your information to anyone who may have a real estate need, and so that's I think maybe a lot easier than maybe talking to a perfect stranger. We talk to these people all the time, and so why not ask them to support you in your business? So I want to just really share with you that it really is effective. It does work. So let's get on the rotary dialer and let's start dialing them up, so that we can start getting these referrals. So is there anyone? Angela has been texting me the whole time saying, "I wish I could talk." So, but is there anyone else who would like to share? Okay. If not, we're going to go ahead and we're going to end the training for this evening, but I really do want to encourage you all to pick up your phone and start, use that hour and a half a day and just start making calls, and you'll be surprised at the results. Okay. All right. So again, as a reminder, well, let me go ahead. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point.